We're now going to look at different ways to call the function using the parameter names in the function call. So we just took the square root of, we just used our square root function just like this. We only passed in the arguments. Now we're going to look at several different ways you can call it. These are all valid ways of using your function. So in the function, you can actually use the parameter name with an equal sign. So that means you're assigning the value of that parameter to a specific value, an argument. So here, you can actually say num equals 18,999, guess equals 10, and max error equals 0.1. So num, guess, and max error are the parameter names. And if I scroll up, you can verify this in the function itself. So this is just an explicit way of setting the values. You don't have to do this. Now, some functions, they might have 10 parameters, and it's a very good idea to use the parameter names in the function call so that you know which values are which. All right, so because it's not likely that you will remember that the seventh value is, whatever the seventh parameter is. So Python allows you to do this. This is very nice for clarity. If there's only one, or it's a very common function, or just a couple of parameters, you may not need to write it in like this. But the more the parameters, just the better idea it is to actually use their name in the function call. Now, the order that you use the parameter names does not matter. So you can put them in any order. So Python, even though we defined the function so that num is first, guess is second, max error is third, it doesn't matter when you're using the parameter names. And let's go ahead and call these just so that you can see them working. So it'll give you the same number over here. Again, it doesn't matter that the order, Python will read it in. Now, where the order does matter is when you don't use the parameter names. So when you don't use the parameter names, Python just obviously believes that the first one is the first parameter, the second argument is the second parameter, and the third one is the third parameter. Now, one thing that Python allows you to do is use some of the just the arguments without the parameter name, and then the parameter name for others. Now, the way this works is that the first ones, you don't, whenever you use the first named parameter, then every parameter after that must also be named. So this is actually valid code. These first two are what are called positional, arguments. That means their position matters. So the first position, the second position. The first position is num. The second position is guess. Now the third, we're just explicitly saying this is max error, like this. That's fine. Now what we can't do is something like this, where we have and we're going to go more into this. These are called the keyword arguments. Whenever you actually use the parameter name, Python uses the term keyword argument. So whenever we're using the keyword argument, so we're using the named parameter, you cannot have a positional one that follows it. So this will result in an error, and the error is exactly what I said. Positional argument follows keyword argument. So this is positional because it is not, there's no keyword here. It doesn't say max error equals. So it doesn't allow that. And same thing, if we just got rid of guess like this, it wouldn't allow that either because 10 is positional and num is keyword. So anything that follows the first parameter must also be a keyword because the first one is a keyword in this instance. All right, so that's how you can use the parameter names in your function calls.